So Prakarsh, welcome to this debriefing session and congratulations on scoring a 730. We talked earlier and you said you had a 660. So how does it feel?
So the growth has been like really good. I can definitely say that in the second attempt, I was really confident about marking each and every answers, even in the verbal part.
Mhm.
So I have a very good maths background. Obviously, I'm an engineer. I've also prepared for CAT. So
Mhm.
the the QA part was actually a cakewalk mostly.
Mhm.
This time, I think I got only 4 questions wrong. So that is kind of okay, good. For the verbal part, I think the last time I was really underconfident about marking every answers. I was more worried about getting the first question right and then, you know, like getting questions right and again and again. But this time I did not have that kind of a fret. I was really confident about what answers I'm marking and why am I marking that.
So let's kind of go back. Let's talk about your preparation right from the very beginning. So you took your first attempt sometime towards the end of August. How did you prepare for that attempt?
During that time, I think I just bought the OG, the official guide for the
When did
company.
you buy the OG? So when did you start preparing?
I think I started preparing in June.
Okay.
Yeah, so something somewhere in June middle,
Mhm.
and I brought the official guide. Once I finished that, I kind of bumped into GMAT Club. I
Okay.
used to practice a lot of questions from there, but then again,
Mhm.
what I feel now is that those attempts at verbal questions were hit or miss because
So you
like
bought the OG. You did not read from any books that would teach you stuff.
I also borrowed from Manhattan Prep as well, but
Mm.
that was more centered on test taking strategies rather than like core, theoretical base.
Okay.
Right. So I think that was my missing point there. I thought I'm kind of good at English. I really don't seem to have a problem in English, like up till
Yeah.
now.
What
So
is your verbal percentile and cat?
verbal percentile has been pretty good. I mean, I grew from in CAT 17 I got a 98 percentile because the paper was actually easy, but in CAT 18 I got a 99.8.
So you had a 99 percentile on cat. Then you
Yes.
got a 45 percentile in your first attempt on the
Yes.
GMAT on verbal.
Yes, so that was a
That was
big
a
slide
shock.
down.
Okay.
Shock, totally.
So let's kind of again stay on that first attempt. So you started preparing in June. You took the test towards what, end of August sometime?
Yes, August 22nd, to be exact.
August 22nd to be exact. So and how much would you study during a day?
Uh, so I kind of had a very long working hour slot. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to the office at 1 p.m. and come back around 12 or 1
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. And used to take out around 1 hour before going to the office and a couple of hours more after coming from
So
the
three
office.
hours
So
a day.
sort of yes, with
Wow, that's a
some
lot
occasional
of
breaks
time.
in between. Yeah.
So during those, so let's kind of look at this. So let's kind of look at beginning of June to let's say middle of August. So that gives you about what 75 days or so. Let's say
Right.
you studied for about 60 out of those 75 days, 3 hours a day, so about 180 hours
Right.
altogether. I'm assuming you studied the same amount of time on the weekend, although you probably would have studied more. So 180 to 200 hours, and you said you primarily spend this time on verbal, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
out of this 180 hours, if you were to guess, and I know you won't have precise answers, but what percentage of time did you spend on solving questions versus kind of learning any foundational content on the verbal side of things?
Uh, I think I'll just consider it as a 70-30 percentage. 70% solving questions and 30% like brushing up some concepts. Because
Okay.
like for critical reasoning, I was fairly okay. For reading
Mhm.
comprehension, also I was doing good in the on the GMAT club questions. But in the sentence correction part was where I wasn't getting any structured, study from where I can actually get okay. These are the rules to follow, like to actually mark an answer or not.
Okay. Now, so 70% of let's say about 200 is about 140 hours or so.
Yeah.
So, and did you get your ESR from the first attempt?
Yes, I do.
What
I
were your
have it. I mean,
yeah? What are the percentiles in SCCR and RC?
let me just open it up, I think, and we'll
Okay,
be able to.
that'd be nice. You can actually share it over here.
Oh, okay, just a second. Yeah. Uh, just a
So the
second. I will.
share
Yeah.
button, bottom center.
Got it. Got it. Let me just open both of them. Think. Great. All right.
Let me know when, yeah, you started sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a 660 V28. Okay, not 27.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. All right. Let's go
Uh,
down to the verbal side.
I think you'll also be shocked seeing how I fared in RC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually did the best in SC. See,
Exactly.
you thought. And that's kind of where people think when they solve questions. They don't keep context in there to really say, hey, what's the difficulty level of questions that I'm solving? And then they mess up. Let's go down.
Yeah.
And hold on. I wanna see the timing piece, please. Okay. So RC a minute 34. You took the longest in SC, almost 2 minutes. Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. Let's go up. Let's go down again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. And so causal arguments, inference. Good. Let's go down. I want to see how the progression happened.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, there's a lot to think, a lot to see. I mean,
Hold on. Go down. This is
yeah.
where I want. Okay, a minute 52, a minute 57, some timing pressure over here. Good.
Hmm.
Now let's look at the next attempt. The new one. 730, V38. Let's go to the percentiles first.
IR and verbal. Yeah.
Verbal, yes. Wow, SC is still good. CCR, you're still on the 61st. Okay, but let's go down again. Here's the
Again, almost
kicker
same
over
amount
it.
of time.
Similar amount of time. But
Yeah.
even though you got much more difficult questions in sentence correction,
Yes.
and then you see the improvement is most in reading comprehension over here. Um, but CR where you spend the most amount of time.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go down now. Okay, wow. This is a complete reversal here on CR.
Hmm.
You had more issues with causal argument. Definite improvement on both areas in RC, which is expected. Let's go down. And meaning side is much improved. Grammar side is, of course, excellent
Yeah.
over here in SC. Good. And let's go down further. I want to see whether timing had any impact on your performance. Okay, this is a really good performance. I really like that. And definitely, I think towards the end, timing probably played some role over there. Go down. I want to see the last two blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, last block timing definitely played a role
Hmm.
there. So, I mean, you probably, because of your timing in CR, you probably lost about 3 points.
Hmm.
You could have been a 750, 760.
Yeah. Actually.
Easily. Okay. All right. So let's talk about your second attempt. First attempt, you bought the official guide, you practiced a ton of questions. You felt you had no structure in SC, you felt you were good in CR and RC, but
Hmm.
the reality was just the opposite. You can stop sharing.
Sure.
So the reality was just the opposite. You actually did relatively well in SC. You're a 70th percentile. You bombed in RC. You did really poorly. You didn't do as well in CR, which you thought was your strength. So then you bought
Hmm.
the e-GMAT course, and then so how did things change? So what was the difference?
So I think one key thing that actually played a role in like performance across all three sections
Mm.
was confidence, if I may say,
Okay.
because like in quant I did not have any issues, tackling any new concept or
Mm-hmm.
a new question or a very hard question. It wasn't an issue at all because I was really confident with quant,
Mm-hmm.
with how my skills are. But I think in verbal I did not have that much of a confidence to attempt any question. I
Mm-hmm.
think that is why, because I think things went haywire. But after buying e-GMAT course, I think one thing that I really wanted to uh, get myself up in
Mm-hmm.
was sentence correction only.
Mm-hmm.
And I primarily bought the course just because of that, because I had read really great reviews about the structure and the way things are planned in that course.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to complete like almost all of the sentence correction part. I was able to brush up all the theory and was able
Mm-hmm.
to like replicate the same good performance in other
Mm-hmm.
questions as well. So that was great. For reading comprehension, I did not like go through much of the course. I'll be very honest, because that is again something that I know I'm pretty good at, but I think that day wasn't like good enough that time, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
CAT is basically more on the reading comprehension
I
side
know.
only,
Yep.
right? Like for out of 34 questions, you have 24 questions, and if you're getting all of them almost correct, you're getting a good percentile.
Mm-hmm.
And getting a raw score of 80 on CAT means actually you are good at RCs. So I was kind of backing that up with for my RC performance. And for critical reasoning also, I did go through a couple of videos. I got a really good structure as to how I should actually approach a CR question.
Mm-hmm.
So like the key areas, I think I also mentioned my answer that the key areas that actually the GMAT course e-GMAT course actually helped me in was critical reasoning and sentence correction only. I mean, majorly in sentence correction, definitely that gave me a really you know a good boost of confidence that whatever answer I'm actually marking on the verbal section also is as confident as the one I'm marking on the quant section.
So how was this different from how you had, so you started you'd gone through the Manhattan material before you'd solved uh, so I think let's kind of get another data point. Did you solve just as many questions before your second attempt as you did before your first attempt?
I don't think so. No, I mean no. The questions were, I mean, relatively very lesser than the previous attempt. But I did give a lot many more mocks.
Mm-hmm.
I gave around 8 or 9 mocks this time. 7 of them were from a particular website, and others were of some free trials only. That's it.
Okay.
The last time I gave was actually 5 mocks because
Wow.
yeah. So like I read reviews. Okay, I mean, if you are consistent with the performance, I think you're good to go. And even on on the GMAT prep website mba.com, I got a 720 and a 700 as
Mm-hmm.
far as I remember. Yeah. So I mean, mocks were pretty okay, but I think I did not just have the confidence if on the test center, if I may just not be confident enough and mark any answer, I think I'll be just losing all over.
So how did you get that? I mean, what aspect of the course gave you that confidence in sentence correction and critical reasoning?
I think the approach and the way the course is structured. I mean, I made notes.
Mm-hmm.
I made notes of each and every video that was there.
Mm-hmm.
I brushed through them, and I was able to like relate. I tried relating each and every aspect of the sentence correction course into the real world as well. I mean, I was writing emails for the clients. I was also like real time processing. Okay, this is a right sentence to write or
That's
not.
real application. Good.
Exactly, and that helps me a lot. I mean, I used to do somewhat of this sort while I was preparing for JEE as well. I thought,
Mm-hmm.
let's have some fun actually learning what I have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that worked actually. I mean, sentence correction you can definitely see. You don't get to like apply CR and RC everywhere, but sentence correction you can definitely do while writing email. So that worked for me. I mean, the structure and how the course has been taught, that was awesome.
It's
Really,
very
that gave me the
interesting
confidence.
when you just made the statement. Sentence correction, I don't really get to see a lot, but I don't really I get to apply a lot, but in critical reasoning and reading comprehension, not as much.
Yeah.
Um, as you grow more in the organization, as you get to a much more decision making position, you're going to find critical reasoning as a skill that you use the most.
True. Yeah.
So that's going to be very very handy for you. Okay, so that's good.
Hmm.
So Prakarsh, so then let's talk about where you want to go next.
Uh, yeah. So as I told you, I think currently I'm
Mhm.
ISB.
Yes.
Uh, I think I have a good decent profile for
Oh, you
the
do.
B
You
school,
do. Definitely, you do.
right? And I'm also like making a list of the of all the schools that I think I can definitely get in with the workings. If not,
Mm,
that is okay. I mean, I can definitely try for a year or two after
mm,
this, if
mm,
not. But I'm also preparing for NCR as well. I mean, I think I'll be starting the application really soon. Once I get over the ISB part, and just almost about the completion of the first essay. That was actually the toughest one out of the two. And
So how are you doing the essays?
uh, so currently, like I have my sister. She's 8 years elder to me. She's also an MBA from IFT, and uh, she has a lot of contacts. And I'm kind of pushing my essays through her to get reviews and everything. I was also considering admission consultancies as well on one
Mhm.
side, just because I think like I have a lot of stuff to write on, but
Yes.
how to actually get those in 400 words, or how
Mhm.
to just pick the ones which will make the most impact,
Yes.
and how will that make the impact.
Mhm.
That is something that I think I just kind of need some help on. uh,
So and then so have you decided to work with a consultant
I'm
or?
actually I have talked to a couple of them.
Mhm.
I was also reading about some background about the reviews,
Mhm.
and we'll be making a decision by the end of this week. Definitely by Friday, I'll be like making a
So
strict call.
so
Okay, that
who
I'll be
who are-
doing
who
this.
have you spoken with so far?
So there is one called ISV Beacon. Uh,
Okay.
I think that's a relatively small firm, and
Okay.
but the reviews are great.
Okay,
Whatever it
that's
is, I
good.
mean, everyone who has written a review has been into ISB or is studying in ISB.
Okay.
So that is pretty good. The second one is, I think, from Exports Global itself. I took the
Okay.
test series basically,
Yeah, I
and
understood that.
on the
Yes.
website, I actually found that they were really close to the actual GMAT, like
Hmm.
really close. I cannot doubt, and I cannot basically name any other mock that was as close to GMAT as they were.
Hmm.
Uh, that helped me basically. I mean, taking your course and taking someone else's test series just validated that what I'm learning was exact. I mean, that was enough, and that was
Hmm.
good to go. So I've been in talks with a couple of them. I think I forgot the third one. I can't really recall, but there are till now. I think I've only contacted three. I
Okay.
think I'll just be choosing one of them for now.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's good. I can definitely recommend a couple more. I can actually send you their.
Your voice wasn't just a
Oh, so
second.
I said I can recommend a couple more. Uh,
Sure.
I, 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 I don't know about ISB Beacon, but if you've seen great reviews, then I'm sure definitely, and if you've spoken to students, and they must, he or she must be good if it's a one-person company.
Hmm.
Um, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you a couple of folks who I work with in India if you're aiming for ISP only. But if you're looking for to apply to international B schools, especially INSEAD, I think
Hmm.
INSEAD is one of the toughest applications out there. It's got like 6 essays if I remember correctly. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know. Have you taken a look at that application?
Not yet, but I just went through forums this time.
Yeah, compared to USB schools, INSEAD application is actually it's equivalent to two business schools applications.
Okay.
So
All
because
right.
I think it has 6 essays, then it has I think one optional essay as well in addition
Hmm.
to those 6 ones, which is kind of twice as much work overall. So yeah. So definitely, if you're going to aim for international business schools, I would recommend that you work with consultants who've worked on those schools before. So, but
Right.
but essentially for ISP, I think you have it covered. I'm going to give you a couple of more options. We actually hosted a webinar in not a webinar, a boot camp in Bangalore in June, in which we invited some of the top admission consultants and we had panels with them. Some I can send over recordings that will tell you the kind of depth that these consultants bring about, and it'll I think give you some idea with regards to how to go about choosing those. Some of them actually do both ISP and international applications, so it'll
All
give
right.
you some variety to look at. But why just INSEAD? I think why not, let's say, a Tepper, for example. You're in analytics. I don't know if you know that Tepper, their MBA, they're very tech focused, and their MBA was recent. I think it was the first or second MBA program to be granted a what is it called? It's essentially now it has a tech degree, so you get 3 years of OPT with the MBA to work in the US without taking an H1 visa.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
so that actually is really really good. So it's called a STEM
Okay.
MBA. I'm sorry.
All
So
right. I get it. Get it. Yeah.
yes.
Science technical.
So this is something that I think this just happened last week or so.
Hmm.
So that I think, and then I've seen a few of our students who've been from tech background, they've gotten into tech, although the scores were slightly higher. But I think so. They were, one of them was from Jadavpur University. He had a 760. He graduated last year. A few others who I know of. So definitely take a look at that, is what I would say.
Okay.
Um, and the nice thing about this is, even if let's say you don't get through it this year, they will give you feedback,
All right.
and you would
That's great.
then be able to make a decision as to, okay, go there next year versus be at ISB. And then with salaries at record high, I think that's another, becomes a very tempting consideration. I mean, the base salary of most graduates is around that 150K mark, which I think is the
Yeah.
highest it has ever been.
That's great. Hmm.
So yeah,
Hmm.
Prakarsh, this is again food for thought. Get through ISB. Definitely, it
Hmm.
gives you options. So I think you then become you have options. You're the one who's calling the shots then, and
Yeah.
and then look at USB schools. And the good thing is you have time. If you're almost done, or you'd be done with your ISB application, that's in 20 days, you'd still have a
Hmm.
month in December to work on your application for USB schools.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's something which is just, you'd be in a really good place, and maybe with your score you get some scholarship too.
Right. I was also hoping for that. I mean, yeah. Anything above 720, I think just increases your chances to
It does
have a
increase your
scholarship.
chances to get some scholarship. I don't think it'll be
Hmm.
substantial, but I think given the salaries, people shouldn't really worry about it. so
That's
so
also true.
I
Yeah.
mean, that I in the same boot camp I was talking to some of the graduates of top B schools, and there are people who didn't get a whole lot of scholarship, but started at the likes of Kellogg and Wharton, and they worked there for about, so all of these folks, alumni who were there, had moved back to India,
All
and
right.
and so speaking with them, and what they said was, they within 4 years they were able to pay off the loans and save enough money to be able to come back with stuff in their pocket. So I think that's a really good indication.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, 4 years is actually pretty good. All right.
So so um, so yeah, definitely give that a thought. As you
Hmm.
do your research, I think you'll be able to back these numbers with people who are there, with data from people who are there right now.
All right.
Okay.